My daughter whispered, "There's someone in my closet." I picked her up, stroked her hair, and told her she was just imagining things. I calmly carried her out of the room. But I never looked back because I knew whatever was in the closet hadn't noticed that I saw it too. I locked her door without a word and pretended everything was normal. I still don't know what I saw, but it wasn't human. My parents always told me, never open the cellar door. It's for your own safety, they'd say. But curiosity rotted me from the inside out. One night I couldn't take it. I opened the old iron latch and creaked it open. A radiant ball of light I had never seen before hovered above the stairs, blinding me. It wasn't from below, it was descending from above. I was born blind. My mother lovingly cared for every part of my life. I never questioned the darkness. But one day something went wrong. A stitch slipped and a shaft of light sliced into my vision. It burned. I realized she had sewn my eyes shut since birth, and she still pretended I couldn't see. I screamed for my dad to come kill the spider in my closet. Then I ran down the hallway, slamming the door behind me. I wasn't afraid of the spider. I was trying to leave the house without tipping off the man standing in the shadows. The man who thought I hadn't seen him. I was home alone, and I didn't want him to know that I knew. I looked down and saw my battery was at 1%. I didn't panic. I turned slowly, watching Earth shrink beneath me. This was supposed to be a routine satellite check, but the tether snapped, and now I was watching my last sunrise from space. I haven't seen my mother since an accident when I was 3 years old. I remember the warmth of her touch but haven't felt her love since. Today, I accidentally broke a lamp. I immediately felt a sharp pain in both ears. Then the silence hit, before all sound vanished. This time she decided to take my hearing as well. In the early 1900s, my grandmother died giving birth to my mother. My mother died giving birth to me at our family farmhouse. Today, as I feel my body grow colder on this hospital bed, I'm filled with fear. I pray for this curse not to continue. I pray this child of mine is a boy. I promised my wife we'd watch a movie and snuggle once I got home from deployment. That night, I walked through the door and found her in the kitchen, humming and making popcorn. I cried with joy, thinking everything would finally feel normal again. But when I hugged her, the room turned black.
She died a week later in the hospital. I didn't realize I'd come home so broken.
I used to hate the endless chirping of crickets on my grandpa's farm. That deafening noise every night drove me insane, keeping me up all night. But last summer, I learned something terrifying. Crickets only go silent when it is near. Now I pray for the chirping, because tonight there's nothing but silence. "Sheriff's Department, what's your emergency?" I asked. A girl whispered, "Daddy killed Mommy, and now he's coming for me." My stomach dropped. I asked her name, and when she told me, I dropped the phone. It was my granddaughter. My daughter told me her husband had been acting strange lately. "I love you, baby," my husband said sweetly, causing me to smile. "Can't wait to see you tonight," he added. But those weren't words he'd ever spoken to me in that way. My blood froze as I realized he was reading my texts. I turned to see him holding my phone in one hand and a gun in the other. My mother always loved me. Even at my worst, she was always there for me. When I died, I floated above her and saw her tears. But the police came. They called it murder, and I wished I had written something down to tell the truth before they took her away. I burst through the water's surface, gasping for air, and heard my dad say, "That was a close call." I tried to laugh and respond, but my lungs didn't move. The light faded and the warmth disappeared. I realized the hallucination was ending. As I looked at my regulator, it was at 0, and I was still sinking to the bottom. I was woken in the middle of the night by a tapping at the window. I shook my husband awake and told him to check it out. He left and came back minutes later, saying there was nothing outside, and climbed back into bed. Then I heard the tapping again. I pulled back the curtain and saw my husband standing outside, lips trembling. "Honey," he said, "let me in." I locked myself out. A psychic told me alcohol would be the reason I'd die. I laughed. I've never had a sip in my life. But just before my appendectomy, I smelled something off. The anesthesiologist's breath stank of whiskey. I tried to tell the nurse, but I was already slipping under, and that was the last time I ever opened my eyes. I haven't slept in days. My eyes burn, my body aches, and I've run out of coffee to drink. I can't sleep because I'm terrified. Terrified because even though I haven't slept in days, I've woken up several times, all in different locations, none being my bed. Since the passing of my 8-year-old daughter, all I did, day and night, was study physics and time travel, trying desperately to create a time machine to one day be able to hold her again. After years of studying, locked in my basement with nothing but empty bottles of whiskey and textbooks all around me, I finally finished. Full of excitement and whiskey, I recklessly drove to the park where she was killed, praying I could make it there before the accident. As I rounded the final corner, a young girl ran in front of the car, but I wasn't quick enough to react. If you're a fan of short horror stories like these and want to hear more, please click that subscribe button and follow along. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe.